there. Welcome to Knowing Me, Knowing You with Dolly. I am Dolly Esindu. Today on Knowing Me, Knowing You with Dolly, we are looking at for richer, for poorer. For me, for richer, for poorer simply means being able to deal with the financial situation in the family when you are a married couple and still staying happy and married for a long time. Couples argue about a lot of things, but money issues create so much problems in the family that couples most times are not able to remain happy as soon as they start having financial problems. Experts even agree that problems related to money or finances is the second leading cause of divorce. I have found that when it is for richer, then the marriage is superb. Everybody is happy. It's honey, this, darling, and everybody's happy. Love is sweet when there's money. But when poorer comes visiting, oh, then you see the problems. The man suddenly becomes, don't mind that stupid man. And the wife says, and the wife now becomes, mind that stingy lady, mind that stingy woman. Nobody ever sees her money. It's unbelievable how when there is money problems, you know, couples become very, very funny. They act up, you know, and it's difficult to believe that it is that same couple that were eating and laughing and were very, very happy together. Now, we all know the marriage vows that deals with this aspect. For richer, for poorer. In spite of everything, in spite of any situation you find yourself, for richer, for poorer, you stay together. But do we? Do we? Well, today, we're going to be looking at some of the problems that couples have that deal with money issues or financial issues. And what are the solutions? How do they deal with this? How do we, at the end of the day, come out, you know, happy in spite of these problems? If properly handled, money issues can create a bond between a couple, strengthen the marriage, create contentment and happiness. It depends on us. Now, let us look at some of the problems that I have noticed that create problems in marriage. First, insisting on the traditional roles of the husband and the wife in spite of changes in the world. A lot of us still insist that it is the man's role to bring home the bread, butter, the bacon, and all that.
These days, people are nobody's down for that anymore. You know, most men would rather have, you know, a woman that is contributing.
I agree.
And most ladies are working. I mean, to be honest, you know.
I agree. I agree. Most families are like that, even in our own time. Every man at that time wanted to have a wife that is doing something, that is working, trading, doing some business or the other. So you find that in spite of that, most husbands still feel that it is their responsibility. It weighs down on the man, and before you know it, a man dies young. The other side of that coin is a situation whereby it is the wife. Sometimes the man loses his job. That's one of the things that creates the financial difficulties. The man loses his job, and that income that used to come from his own end is no longer there. Now, the woman now suddenly becomes the breadwinner. And what happens? In some cases that I have seen, the man is not able to deal with that because he still feels this responsibility. So the thing is to generally say, look, to hell with these traditional methods. What Madam has, what Oga has, you put it together and you work with it. Now, the traditional rules again is, it is Madam that is supposed to clean the house, cook, take care of the children, do the school runs and all that. Now, when a situation arises that Madam has to go to work and Oga has to stay at home, because at that point in time, it's not forever, things change. At that point in time, Oga is not able to do something outside the home. So, because he's used to just sitting around, she goes. So she makes breakfast in the morning, she leaves, she comes back in the evening, the plates which they used to eat breakfast are still sitting. They have not been washed. The house has not been cleaned. The children's clothes have not been washed. And she comes back and she's supposed to get into the kitchen, start preparing dinner and start doing all this. And then she says, honey, you didn't even wash the plates. What happens?
Am I your houseboy?
Oga gets angry. Am I your houseboy? Oh, because I'm not working now, so I'm now the houseboy. I'm supposed to wash. I'm supposed to clean. It shouldn't be like that. That's the point we're making. We have to get rid of these traditional roles. These days, it should be seen as a partnership. For example, there's this couple. The man works with an oil company, and he was doing very well, making good money, and things were just great. Then suddenly he lost his job, and the wife became so dissatisfied with the situation that at a point she just couldn't stand it. She packed her 3 children and left the marriage. And now this man is left, holding the bag. He's alone in the house. He's not able to cook even for himself, and he's so depressed. And that's it. Now, that's what happens when, we feel that this is the man's responsibility and that is the woman's responsibility. For instance, in my own case, when we were still young in marriage, and in fact, for instance, when I was schooling in the US, my husband did everything. When he's around and I have to go to class, I have to go to the library to do one paper or do one thing or the other, he just took up the chores. He would go shopping, pick the children from school, shop with them, come back home, prepare dinner, and wait. And when I come, he will just say, look, I have this in the oven. And, he felt nothing about it. Until old age, he would go out and shop for me. He would go to the shops, he would go to the markets if he needed to. He would see yam on the road, palm oil, meat, anything, he would stop, buy, and bring home. And of course, I'll be so grateful, because that saves me, the problem of having to do that area of shopping. So we need to get rid of some of these, some of these role playing that we have insisted on because our fathers and our mothers were doing it. Times are changing. Now, another thing that I have found that creates a problem is differences in spending styles. People could be so in love, but something that creates a problem. One person may be a spender, while the other one may be a saver. And it could be just the man or the woman, the husband or the wife. Let me now pick on the men first. Say the man is the spender here. Every 2 years, 3 years, he wants to change his car. He goes out, hangs out with friends, and hey guys, bottles for everybody. Hey guys, and he spends like that. And then at the end of the month, they look at their finances, and Madam says, what did we do with all this money? Meanwhile, she's looking at how they're going to save money, for this or for that, for children's school fees, for all that. And then, there's a problem in the marriage because of that. On the other hand, it could be the wife too, that is the big spender. We have a friend, a couple, they live in the US actually. This couple, the husband always whispers to my husband and I don't let my wife know how much I'm making. If she knows, she's going to spend it. And we'll laugh, but it was true. As soon as they have money, she knows that this amount of money has come in, she'll go shopping. Oh, she'll update her kitchen, change the microwave oven. Nothing is wrong with it. Oh, buy more dishes. She just likes to spend. That could create a problem. Now, another problem is secrecy. Like our friend, he says, I don't tell my wife how much I make. So already there's a problem because they're keeping secrets. In fact, there are homes till now, Madame does not know how much exactly is Oga's salary. And Oga certainly does not know how much Madame makes out of her business or her salary. So what's wrong with sitting down and say, look, this is how much I'm making and this is how much is coming in? So keeping secrets, when it eventually comes out, then all hell will let loose.
Okay, so can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Okay, so like you said now, you shouldn't keep secrets in a marriage, concerning money matters. What about like your friend? Like he knows who his wife is. He knows that if she knows that this money is there, she's going to spend it. So what if one person in the family or in the marriage has a problem with spending money? So then what do you do? Like in a situation where, keeping the secret saves the money, what do you do?
We'll come to that. We'll come to that. That's one of the solutions that we're going to be talking about today. Another problem I found too is unexpected, family expenses. That can also create a problem. And then other things too. Maybe there's a death in the family suddenly. Nobody expects these things to happen, but they do happen. Somebody passes on, a loved one. The last one I want to look at is the size of the family. The larger your family, the more finance or the more money you will need. The smaller your family, the less you will need. You'll be able to
stretch your money further to take care of the future.
Exactly, yes. And then you'll be able to plan for, your full education and all that of the children, for better things, give them a better life. Before we go on to the solutions, let us remind ourselves again, according to Dolly, the key things for me in marriage are praying, loving, caring, trusting, respecting, sharing, sacrificing, compromising, communicating, great sex, having fun, and forgiving. Let us now look at the solutions. I think that it's best to reconsider the traditional roles. My husband and I tried it, and it worked. There was at no point in time in our marriage did we say, this has to be done by the man or this has to be done by the woman. We knew exactly how much we were making. Each of us knew what to expect in the marriage. And at any point in time, we could change roles. And then another thing is no secrets when it comes to finances. That also worked for me. My husband knew exactly how much I was earning when I was working, and I knew exactly how much he was making from his business. He would tell me, in fact, I knew so much details about his business that I could talk his business. I could play that role. Now, if, for instance, he had to travel out of town, he would say, look, Dee, this is this amount of money. Just keep it here. I'm keeping it here in case there's anything. Most of the time, he would travel and come back, and I wouldn't have touched that money. Because if I had, a little more money coming in from, I was also, making dresses and having my job at NTA at the same time. And he knew exactly. So, but if there was an emergency, I knew exactly where to get money. Of course, those were the days before ATM. So, no secrets, and then planning. Sit down together, map out your plans, map out your strategies, and say, look, this is how much we're making. We're sending this to my father, we're sending this to your mother.
You still haven't answered my question. What if one partner is irresponsible with money and the other partner knows it. So, you know, they now keep secrets about how much they have in order to provide for the family better.
Exactly. Now, remember we're talking about not keeping secrets and planning. That's all part of the plan. Bearing in mind that one of you is a spender while the other one is a saver. You make provision for that aspect. Now, Oga, this amount of money is allocated for your spending escapades, if you want to put it like that. Now, and this is for Madam. Now, no matter what you want to spend, you want to suddenly buy, you know, Brazilian hair or hair from God, whatever, you cannot spend more than this amount of money, so that it is clear, it is defined, and then you end up not having, you know, problems after that. Another solution, and a very important one, is to plan investment strategies that would create wealth for the family. Now, if both husband and wife put their heads together and decide, look, let us do this. This is something we can do that, you know, we can use to build up a little wealth for the family. That is a beautiful way.
So basically you're saying plan for the family, not just to enrich yourself, you know.
Exactly.
As a man or as a woman.
Exactly.
You know, open a shop for yourself and, you know,
yes.
build up your...
Whatever you do, it should be both of you planning together. If you're opening a shop, if you're opening a fast food business, if you want to start a new boiler business, whatever, plan it. And from that, also now plan for long-term goals. Long-term goals, for instance, let us start putting money together. We will eventually need to build a house. We will eventually have to send these children to the universities. We would eventually have to go on vacations. So for me, those are some of the solutions that have worked for my husband and I when he was alive. So with that, we've come to the end of today's show, titled For Richer, For Poorer. And this has been Knowing Me, Knowing You with Dolly. So I'll leave you with a quote. Today's quotable is this: my people say, ego bonije. It simply means that money is a visitor. When it visits your home, welcome and embrace it with love. When it leaves, wish it well and stay happy. Thank you very much. Please don't forget to leave your comments and share this video with your loved ones. Also, don't forget to subscribe so that you do not miss any of the juicy editions that are coming ahead. For now, this is Knowing Me, Knowing You. Today, remember, we looked at For Richer, For Poorer. I am Dolly Asendu. Let's do this some other time, okay?